Let's now cross live to the Ministry of Works in Mabushi, Abuja, where the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, is addressing a press conference. Let's listen in.
To address that, and it's a daily fight. And I thank the governor and the people, government of Lagos State for the assistance, and the Commissioner of Police. They have massively deployed, within the coastal route to check vandalization. As we speak now, and I want the public to go and see it, the fence we have done to protect the coastal road is being destroyed by people. The green, barbed wire we put to expose the beauty of the coastal, road in a number of sections are being cut and taken by people. In Shagamore that we are walking, the width of our road is 12 meters. And so the paver that is laying 9 meters. So there is still 3 meters to be laid. And so there is a connecting bar, we call it doorway bars. And these bars no more than 1 meter. And people go there and cut it. We've shown this thing on the, to the media. And so the flooding of the coastal highway was because that our underground channel were blocked with refuse. And this is the basic reason why we even have flooding in most cases in Lagos, where people carry their daily refuse and then put it inside the manhole. I think the public has a duty to, checkmate these things. And so we are doing everything possible to ensure that the coastal highway is free, just like other highways of the nation. We will visit Lagos in the next 1 week, and we will also take the press alongside with us. Whatever we need to do additionally, we will do it. But I want the public to know that in this Ministry of Works, no one is God. The public should know that no human being on earth is doing anything in perfect order. And so there is no need of people, looking for faults, because you will definitely find fault if that program is being executed by human being. The Ministry of Works is doing everything possible within the limit of our ability and our conscience to ensure that there is value for money and that we do everything to address the yearnings and concerns of our people as far as the road infrastructure is concerned. And for this, we thank the President very, very highly, because the President inherited very terrible state of our roads and bridges. And I've asked anybody to show me any road in this country that was constructed before now and lasted for 10 years. And that's why the President has introduced reinforced concrete technology to address this menace, where the road we will build now or we're building now will last between 50 and 100 years. And this is very important. We do not desire that heavy trucks and vehicles will be parking on our roads and bridges. Roads and bridges are never designed for static loads. We're asking for trouble by allowing, vehicles and big trucks and small trucks to be parking on our bridges. We have very big issue on 10 Mainland Bridge and big issue on Carter Bridge, to the extent that by our investigations, by the stakeholders meeting, by the experts of consultants, Carter Bridge has to be demolished. But we are doing everything possible to offer first aid so that we can use it for the next 3 years that will be the lifespan of the next, of the new construction. And what happened to these two bridges? People harvesting the sand under. The design of the piles is for skin friction. The skin friction method of piling, because you can't do end bearing because you can't meet the rock. And so what is holding the bridges are the sand holding the piles. So people were illegally doing that. And you can see where it has gotten us to. Of course, lack of maintenance because of undercurrent water that also washes the sand. And of course, you also see people that are doing this illegal mining hitting the pile caps. Just about 3 months back, an illegal miner hit one of the piles and removed the piles. We've directed for prosecution of that company that did that. And so, with all these illegalities, the illegalities have a lot of consequences on our infrastructure. Just about 2 weeks back, we caught people, and that's the second time we are catching people removing the, cat eyes electrical devices on top mainland bridge. It is done all over the world, where you put relief, materials on our road infrastructure, to calm down, the pressure of, works while you're on that bridge. But thanks to Mr. President, who directed Minister of Works to introduce CCTV on our roads. And that's why we introduced CCTV on Top Mainland Bridge. And it was very easy for the police in Lagos to catch the vandals. And you look at Second Niger Bridge, you look at even Njeba, and many other places where they go to remove the expansion joints. In Mutala Mohammed, the same thing. Expansion joint or bridges go to melt it. Take a look at the project everybody is talking about, Abuja-Kaduna, Zaria, Kano. Just go and look at the New Jersey, the median concrete barriers. People are destroying it, looking for tiny reinforcement. And the efforts they are putting, if they put it to do meaningful legal work, they will earn 10 times that amount. So it is our duty to please know that this infrastructure, if we do not protect it, then, it's the execution, the repairs, we have to also, be repeated. And that is not good for our society. This is very important. So I feel that it's important for Minister of Works to cry out and bring this thing to the knowledge of the public, so that together we can safeguard this critical infrastructure that Mr. President is toiling day and night to put. NMPC funded projects. We have a lot of NMPC funded projects that we inherited. Essentially, these projects, were awarded by the previous administration between April and May 2023, which means that everything about the execution, is being done by, the present administration. And they were awarded at the time that there was no removal of fuel subsidy and there was no, floating of the naira. So you can imagine, for a project that was supposed to be funded by an NMPC about 4, trillion, how much it will be now. And that NMPC projects were created by the past administration through Executive Order 007, and it's still subsisting. The only thing that has happened now is that NMPC will no longer pay contractors. So by the directive of the president, that agreement of contractors with NMPC, with FIRS then, and with Ministry of Finance and the Works is to be terminated. And President directed that we should take over as Minister of Works, prioritize the projects, rephase the projects, and rescope the projects. And that is what we are doing with our contractors. And I commend our contractors. We had a meeting with them and we pleaded with them to go back to site. I know, yes, they have a total generated certificate of 263 billion, which by the directive of the president, 127 billion is being released. And so we are in the process of, saying, yes, let us document all that you did under NMPC, program, and let us see what we are moving forward. And what we are doing, to make it very clear, the president directed continuation of all NMPC inherited projects, and that is what we are doing. So we are now busy, rescoping, rephasing, and working very hard to, know where we were when NMPC was fully and totally in charge, so that we can put that documentation properly, and then we are moving forward. And so if you have 100-kilometer dualized road, we decide within the limit of what we're expecting, how much can we put under phase 2? What we did before with the NMPC is called phase 1. And if you are holding any APG, it's expected that you will do some work, within the money you are having to die with the phase 1. And so we are now saying, okay, phase 2, this is the much we can take for now. And then whatever is the balance is, phase 3. As at the time we reviewed the project, it will take about 7 trillion to fully complete all the NMPC projects, ceteris paribus. That's all things being equal. So I need to commend Mr. President very, very highly, and to say that, the project is not dead. In fact, when the project was initiated by the past administration, the North Central, they had 26% of the project. South had 23%. I think Northeast had about 17%. Southeast had 3.5%. Southwest had 5%. And the president did not stop any of the projects. He inherited all of them and continued them until it became impossible now that we must prioritize, we must rescope, we must, phase, so that the project will be completed in phases. So I commend the president very highly. Recall that when we came on board, that the president inherited 2,064 projects, active projects, worth 13 trillion that time. Even with our prioritization, the total contract summed as at today is 16.9 trillion. And so that's where we are, and we're working very hard. Now, on the issue of Abuja-Kaduna, people were making so much noise about it. I look at it as being political. And like somebody said in our rise this morning, it looks as if Jolobeja is fighting back. Well, whether Jolobeja is fighting back or not, the truth remains the truth. And I will tell you the history of that project, that we inherited. By the time we came on board, we started meeting with Beja on that project. Don't forget that that project had lasted with Beja for 9 years. Don't forget that that project was divided into 4 sections, and the total cost was 150 billion, and it was for rehabilitation. And don't forget that Beja, one way or the other, pushed away the rest of the contractors and took over the entire project. And don't forget that the project then was now re-awarded to them at 650 billion. And as at the time we met them, the total cost of the project and what they had collected was 739 billion. That's what they had collected. And that's where we met them. And out of 350 kilometer dualized, that's 700 kilometer, they had completed about 240 kilometer. And that's about 65% of the project. And so we now engage them. Now, the balance of the project, was about 210 by 2. 210 by 2. That's 420 kilometers. And they said that, yes, we need to review. And we agree with them. We need to review because at the time they did this job was before the floating of the Naira and was before the lifting of subsidy. Yes. And so we began to meet with them. And so for 14 months, we were going back and forth. And the final, this is that Beja offered to do the remaining 210 kilometers for, 1.5 trillion. We went as far as offering, 1.1 trillion, and they did not agree. We took the matter even before the chief of staff to the president. The national security advisor intervened. The Honorable Attorney General intervened. We went for meetings severally with them. And when we couldn't budge because we didn't know where to find 1.5 trillion, we had to terminate the contract. There's a procedure for contract termination, and we followed it. And now, when we terminated the contract, Beja went to do a meeting with the National Assembly, and they said, look, Ministry of Works is terminating our project. Don't forget that we are still owing government 100 billion. And that was very shocking to us because it was Beja that went to the National Assembly. They reported themselves that out of this 739 billion, we are owing government another 100 billion. Now, how come we didn't know? Because the payment was being done by NSIA, National, Sovereign Investment, Fund. So it's been done by them. So their payment, when we generate certificate, we send it to them. So they were being paid. And so we now came back to check our records and, interface with NSIA. And we discovered they were owing 100 billion. And so we now called them for a meeting. And when we called them for a meeting, they now gave us, bill of 210 billion. Say, you should pay them for security. You should pay them for CPI, that's foreign exchange differential. You should pay them for borrow pit. You should pay them for, all sorts of things that were outside the contract they signed. And so while we were that, the Kaduna section of EFCC wrote us and said, bring everything you have with Beja to us. And we wrote them and said, look, allow us to do our internal verification. And so after everything, the ministry allowed about 27 billion claims. Let my people go. And so we now said Beja has to refund to government 73 billion. People are running helter-skelter, going here and there, damaging our names, this thing. But the point is, I told them that they should not waste their time. That is only the president that can write off that amount. And if it means me coming to EFCC to testify, I will testify because I took time to read the entire file. I took time to do the calculation. So there's nothing you ask me about that project that I will not explain to you. I know they have many agents that are fighting very seriously to destroy us. But what I always believe is that no matter how much people fight to destroy you, if you are doing the right thing before God, God will fight for you. So this is very important. And it is very important that when we have the opportunity, as leaders of this country, as journalists, as anyone in any walks of life, it is very important to make verification of your destiny before you dish false information to the public. I wasn't happy with Arise this morning, and a number of things they said. And, Rufai is too fond of that. If you cannot serve the public with venom, with a mind that is already made up. First, you say that they asked me a question, am I or two? about Mikano that I didn't answer it. I want them to go back and check the clips, because they said about Mikano. And that's when I said, I'm not aware that Mikano has anything to do with InfoWest. And that InfoWest is doing work also in Southeast, in fact, in Ebonyi State, for the third legacy project. But they said that I didn't answer the question. And that's very annoying. And damaging the reputation of Ministry of Works. That's not good. Because you should find out whether I answered the question, but you dish to the public that I didn't answer the question. I answered the question, and it will be good for them to correct themselves, two of them. And that's when I was very angry, and I said, is it about the person doing the job, if he's doing the job rightly? Should I have given the job at 1.5 trillion when I have given the job at 754 billion, not even 1.1 billion? And I have increased the scope of the work by 28 kilometers. I'm doing the job with reinforced concrete pavement that will last between 50 and 100 years. The job done on asphalt on that road has started failing. It's this InfoWest that is patching it. And then you are, interrogating the integrity of a company, and a site you have not visited. And I thank the Works Committee, Senate, and the Housing. There are a number of them that made it a point of visit to go on oversight function with us. And they will testify that we have no compromise as far as the integrity of our roads are concerned. And so somebody will sit down somewhere and then now just, aim at destroying the people. And you say, because let me say it and say it very clear. If I'm before anyone, and you are damaging my reputation, I must speak out. This mouth cannot close. If you want to destroy me or the ministry or the government I'm serving, I must speak out. Somebody, I saw it in social media when they say, what am I awarding contract at 14 million? And somebody was already reaching conclusion. In a discussion, government people, the executives are not, house boys and house girls that you put before you and you'll be insulting them. No, we all have our integrity. We all have our respect, and it's mutual. If you ask me a question, I must answer you because you are my headmaster. You are oversighting me. But it has to be done with mutual respect, But when you are reaching conclusion before live TV and, so that to put us in a very bad distance, then I have to speak out. I have to speak out. This is very important. So that was an NMPC project, and to fulfill the law, it's being funded outside by that 007. But as a responsible ministry, you have to put it in the budget, and it's called notional budgeting. Don't forget, I've been deputy governor, I've been governor, and so budgeting is not a new thing to me. And I won many first during the transparency, of budgeting, when we were governors, organized by World Bank. So at least I've been taught about budgeting and what is notional, this and what you cannot do unless that project appears in the law. So now, the InfoWest, you say it's owned by Mikano. I have I had to go and get the certificate of InfoWest, and I will circulate it to the district. And I've met with the MD by myself, a perfect gentleman. His name is Jaud Joseph Abon. And I know his two younger brothers who are also, directors. That's what we have in CSC. And so for somebody to say it's Mikano, somebody even went as far as, and I commend Abati, who even went as far as, looking for Mikano, International, and found out that's Mikano International. I've been doing construction, but there's no Mikano here. I've met with these three owners of the company. However, whether it's Mikano that is doing the job or is not doing the job. The important thing is the job being done? Is it with good quality? Do you have the evidence that the quality is not good? Empirically, let me use Rufai's, empirical language. You just stay there because, my brother, the owner of Arise, gave you the opportunity, and you believe you can insult everybody and darken counsel without knowledge. And we will not let you to do that. The job is very easy when you are not the one doing it. I wish the government could give you an appointment, one single appointment, and see you fumbling up and down. Why is everybody so bad before you? The other day, your team, they were praising the First Lady, for the commendation received in America by, the President of America. And the whole, country applauded the First Lady, a very wonderful and respected, mother of the nation. And I watch his comments. He said, hey, this thing, does it stop the killing? What has the killing done with this aspect? Must you see every good thing about government negatively? This is very sad. And so the bottom line is that there is no Mikano in what we are doing. If there is anybody that is, a director in Mikano and is a director in InfoWest, there is no law that stops it. And it's not my business to start looking for Mikano. It's not my business. My business is the work. And I have challenged everybody to go. But let me tell you something. People think that, this Beja, they had been on that job 240 kilometers for 9 years. 240. We are doing 118 kilometers in 14 months. That's the lot one, 252 billion. The president has paid 50% of that project. 14 months, we've not exceeded 1 month. And that job will be ready in April, the next 2 months, for commissioning by the president. And I'm on live TV, and I'm saying so. And I want the public to go and see the quality of the work. In fact, when you go, you may not even know where we have laid, asphalt, concrete in most cases, because everything is now looking like asphalt. Just go and see it. It's looking like asphalt. It's very beautiful. And it's a sight to behold. The second lot is 502 billion, 164 kilometers. And that project will be ready in the month of November this year. And so how can somebody now say, oh, I passed that road? You didn't pass the road. You didn't pass the road. I don't want to talk about, any bitterness anybody has against us. Because if you come here, of course, I'm not talking about my good friend, Adam Oshomole, But if you come here, you want me to give you the constituency projects of your colleagues, and I say no, and you are bitter against me, and you want to take on me, when you have the opportunity. Well, whether you said I was a senator for 1 month or this thing, is that I was a senator, I was deputy leader of the Senate, and my brain works very well. It's not how long, I still have in my head the rules and regulations of the Senate. And I have my utmost respect for the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and House of Rep. Among the best we've ever had. Anybody can talk anything about them, but they remain the best as far as legislative houses are concerned. And I commend them for their encouragement, for what they are helping us to achieve, and their commitment in, oversighting the performances of contractors. Ministry of Works cannot do it alone. This is very, very important. So, 700 and the, 54 billion, 282, kilometers to be achieved simultaneously within 40 months. I think that Ministry of Works deserves commendation. I think that the president deserves commendation. I'm not sure of any other project in this country that president has paid attention. He has paid to, Abuja-Kaduna, Zaria, Kano Road. I'm not sure. He extended the project at Kano by 12 kilometers towards the Aminu Kano International Airport. He has finished the 17 kilometers that is at the Kano end, and he has put solar light over there. And this project is the entire project extended by 28 kilometers, and the president directed that there should be solar light from beginning of that project to the end in Kano. What a wonderful man. And so we needed to be commended, and the road is 8 inches concrete. There is strength of concrete, grade 40, that is expected at 7 days. There is strength that is expected at 21 days. There is strength that is expected at 28 days. You are free, before you condemn us, to go to the site with your expert. There is a test that is called non-destructive test of concrete. You can go and carry out non-destructive test with a very small equipment, and it will show you the strength of the concrete. But I'm very proud, on what we are doing. So InfoQuest remains InfoQuest. Mikano remains Mikano. In fact, I had to go and check for the owner of Mikano. And the owner of the Mikano is called Mofit Karane. He's the chairman of Mikano. And his phone number is here. I will not give it to you. Go and get your own. The number is here, the owner of Mikano. But the point is this. Should I have been, they allow the ministry to succumb to blackmail and give out the job at 1.5? Is it about who is doing it? It's about our people. It's about mixing concrete with cement, chippings with cement and sand and road, and put our dictates as the case may be. Who are the people doing all these jobs in all these expatriate companies? It's our people. And that's why the president is patronizing indigenous contractors very well, alongside with the expatriate company. We can do it. Yes, we can. We went to the same school. We read the same books. Nobody should be inferior to the other. And I will not accept that. So this is very important. My good friend, Adam Oshomole, nobody should think that or insult anybody. He remains, my very good friend. But I thought he would have, commended us on Ekoma, because we went there. And Ekoma, that section of the road, as directed by the president, is a wonder to behold. So I thought that he would have commended, because the essence of this, defense is for us to be commended where we have done well, for them to point out where we have not done well. There's no quarrel about that. They are supervising us, and we respect them, and we obey them. But if you turn it to blackmail us, my mouth will not close. Nobody can close it. So I will suggest to, Rufai, and I want our Batim, a most senior person there, to try and advise him. It's not good. I think we begin to, account for whatever comments we are making. Because we are just very much as a public, hearing the first hearing. Nobody wants to investigate to find out. And it's not good. Whether you're a leader or you're the led or you're a journalist or you're a lawyer, it's good to investigate. Because when you, condemn people, you bring judgment on yourself. This is it. On issue of PPP that, Senator, complained about in Edo State, that project is 125 kilometers from Benin to Asaba. And it is one of the programs of the ministry, HDMI. There are two programs on that, PPP, where you take a road that is happening with, African Plus, I think so. And then you now finish the road, you toll it, recover your money and hand over. And he complained that they are taking the money, from a pension fund. That is what the pension fund is meant for. The pension fund is not meant to lie in the bank. And is it what you should be crucifying me about? Should anything concern me about where they're getting their money from? Yes, you complain that their job quality is bad and it's very slow. Yes, it's my responsibility. And I also invite him, let us go there by the 20th of this month, to look at it. We must know that these people are using their private fund to do the job. Yes, they have to do good quality work, but it's not good to damage them in public. They should be encouraged so that other people that have money to invest on our road infrastructure will be encouraged to do that. If they are not doing well, we will advise them. If they don't take the advice, we will now publicly, advise them. But so far, they are doing well as far as we are concerned, unless when we go there on 20th and we discover they are not doing well, we take the public because it is a business as far as we are concerned. So it should not bother anybody, because a lot of people have been sending text messages, and we feel that it's important to clarify this, So where somebody is taking his money should not concern us. It should not concern us, These are, areas that people should, you can invite the company, you can invite them. If you are not happy that they are taking, pension fund, which is what that fund is meant for. In fact, they should even come up and invest it in infrastructure. That is what it's meant for all over the world. However, we have good news. Good news to the people of Northeast and to the people of South-South. Yesterday, the president graciously directed that Ministry of Works should extend the Bodo-Bonny road by 8.7 kilometers dualized using concrete up to the east-west road. That's wonders. That's wonders. So it's going to make that Bodo-Bonny. And, the president is a man that God has given a lot of favor. And when you see people criticizing him, don't worry, because it's the ripe mango that people throw stone, And people thought that by now we would have collapsed, that there wouldn't be a nation like Nigeria. But we are still going. 49, billion in terms of our foreign reserve, 1.5% contribution to the global economy. Recognition of, our First Lady, as a woman of honor, and which is a very wonderful, commendation diplomatically, being invited by the King's Kanchas of, London to host the president and the wife. You will see the inflation going down. You see the stability of the Naira. You will see a lot of road infrastructure going on everywhere. You see the NEFLON fund. If you are opposition, won't you be angry? So we have to also pity them because there are a lot of first. The microeconomy is working and the president is now descending down, starting with the agricultural, food sufficiency. And you can see that we can easily buy food at a cheaper rate. And so if you're opposition, you should be angry. I was once in opposition. And so I understand how we feel when the government in power. And that's why I left, because I don't like bitterness. And that's why I left when bitterness was so much. And I had to, move to where there is light. Today, those that criticize me have joined me in that light. So don't feel bad when few are criticizing us, are insulting us. I say it for the Southeast people, that the Biafra we are looking for is here, and this President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has done what no any other government has done for people of Southeast. He has done it. And I'm happy for the working of our governors in Southeast. They have defied the issue of sit at home, because nobody should sit at home. Not even on Sundays, people should work. We are known for commerce. Who did it? Our president. There is improving security there. The governors are getting more funds. There is no governor of Southeast that is not supporting the president, whether you are in APC or not in APC, because they acknowledge the ingenuity of the man and the grace of God upon a man that God sent to take our country back at a very challenging moment. And so that good news is for the people of Bodo-Bonny. For the first time in the history of creation of Bodo-Bonny, a vehicle had to now take people from island to the mainland. Is it not something that people should be very, very happy? So this is icing on the cake. icing on the cake. And there were 2 flyovers. And the work is to start by March. Another fantastic news. When we talk about the Fort Legacy project of the president, the Fort Legacy the road starting from Akwanga to Jos to Bauchi to Gombe. People have, omitted to Medugri. That was what the president gave to me. That route supposed to be Akwanga, Jos, Bauchi, Gombe to Meduguri, Biu in Medugri. And so the president has called that not only that, insinuation should be corrected for what it is, especially for the Northeast, but should also procure the project for the work starting from Akwanga. Another work should start from Medugri, going to Gombe, going to Bauchi. And so I think the president deserves, very serious commendation. Very serious commendation. It's only the one of Southeast that we go back to let him know that he should also start from the end, and so that they will move in both directions, because the other 3 are moving in both directions. And I know that the president, who has never said no to me, for any good thing I request, will do it for us, And so this is very, very important. And I want to commend the DG and the people of BPP, Bureau of Public Procurement. If you want to know anything about procurement, and for those who are saying, cost per kilometer, the Bodo Boni project has lasted for 8 years. In that 8 years, the concrete was going for 580,000 per meter cubed. I want my very good friend Rufai to know that we started, in 2023, is it 2024, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, the concrete started with 350,000 per meter cubed, and it is still subsiding. But 8 years back, somebody started concrete at 580. And so this extension, they were looking for 580. I said, no, well, it has to go to the current distance. And even if we make mistake, that DG will never make mistake. He will bring it down. And I commend him very, very highly. He's a partner in the project of Nigeria. And I think that we leaders should have the fear of God, have the loyalty, to the people, to the president, and to our conscience and our families. This is very important. So anybody that wants to know cost per kilometer, if you can't come to us so that we do the empirical analysis of it, then you can go to BPP. That young man is doing fantastic work. So these are the things we said we should clarify. There's no Mikano in our project execution, and there will be none. And we are not even doing generators. We are using solar light. This is very important. So if you have questions to, tell us, you can, now tell us questions. And for distribution of projects, I still maintain in Ministry of Works, the Northwest has the largest, chunk of our projects. But it's very important that we stop this North and South divide. Because are we saying that people of Southeast are not following the roads in the Northwest and vice versa? So let us stop this and be patriotic. And that's where I commend the 2 appropriation chairmen, Bichi in the House of Rep and, Yayi in the House of the Senate, because when they appraise this thing with their team, they are not looking at North and the South. They are looking at the nation. They are looking at to be the imitator of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who wants a united Nigeria, who wants equitable Nigeria, who wants to give voice to every Nigerian, so that with plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Thank you. So if you have questions, we are here. My directors and PS, we can answer you. Yes. Go ahead.
I think it's time to and the first concern is understanding that it's ensuring what measures are put in place, especially working with citizens to ensure that illegality stops. And on some good election, when taking that citizen in the look, 29 last week, we discovered that the space of work on that taking that work next week. The federal contractor that they told us, he told us that insecurity is affecting the job. And from what you're saying, it's clear that most of these projects are being delayed because of insecurity. So what measures are you putting in place to ensure that there's enough security so that these projects are not abandoned? We believe that after you leave office, most of this work, the new government will come on board and new policies will come, a lot of things will change.
We are not about leaving office like that. Our tenure is by God's power and grace, not by those who don't wish us well. Is it not 2031? Yes. God, Yeah, well, the solution to Coastal Highway is the intention. And the intention is to complete it in April, May, commission it in May. And already there are about 4 South African companies that want to pay us the full money of that road construction and toll it. And so when they toll it, we're going to have cameras and we're going to have viewing centers and they're going to be patrolling on that project. It becomes an investment. And so no one is going to tamper with the facilities of the road. So that is the what we are about to deploy. So we believe that by May we will commission fully the first 47.47 by 6 lanes, and that will take that decision. And so when I talk about legacy project of the president has been investment. Yesterday the president directed me to tell Professor Joseph, the Minister of Water Resources, to go and evaluate all the dams from Sokoto to Badagry on that route. And so I called him yesterday. I didn't get him. So I'm sure you'll be hearing me. And that is for investment. When we get those numbers, then we will check, the environmental impact assessment. And then we will now put up design. And that's when the president will now invite the Minister of Power, and then for hydro, we invite the Minister of Agriculture, for irrigation and the agri-business. And so beyond that, anyway this road is passing, you have a lot of land acquisition, which we will use by the issue of operate and maintain, to build, factories, tourism centers, industries, housing estates. So it's an investment. On the work at Tegena in Niger State, the president has done quite a lot through the National Security Advisor, and I commend the National Security Advisor in all sense of humility and appreciation, because it would have been difficult to work in a number of places, especially his legacy project, without his intervention. He had a marching order in Federal Executive Council by the president to ensure that he deploys security. Sokoto going to Zamfara, to Funtua, to Zaria, he has deployed, and that's why that work is going on very well. 375 kilometers by 2, that's 750 kilometers. And so this Tegena, it's an NMPC project. So when we reface the project and rescope it, we will also get security working with the contractor day and night. Something is being done. Yes. Any other one? Yes.
My name is John Chus from New Telegram. First, let me.
From where?
New Telegram.
Oh, okay.
Let me.
Upper Camara BC. That you are not ESN.
Yeah. Let me also congratulate you for the work you are doing. First, let me ask if you have any regrets for what transpired at the Senate yesterday?
Regret?
Yes.
What regret?
Because, if you go back and look at the allegations that went among your colleagues, because you are presenting budget or whatever, I also think that it might not be necessary, it could not be necessary. Well, that's the question for me. Secondly,
let me answer you. There was nothing to regret. This is a normal, process, if somebody is not happy that Minister of Works be being praised, that is the person's cup of tea, If somebody is commending what we are doing, that is also appreciated, So, but if you don't want commendation, it will not come to you. So it's very normal, I'm telling you, and that's why I offered them whether we should leave them so that they do executive section. And somebody had the audacity to say, I'm a 2-month senator. If the person has never been a governor, has never been a deputy governor, has never been a minister, has never been a party chairman, has never been chairman of a board. He has never been any of these things. And so if I am 2-month senator, let him come for debate on legislative matters. Let him come and debate me. The important thing is that distinguished senator is attached to my name, and nobody can remove it.
Yeah, Mr. You spoke, when you started, you spoke about vandalization of the works of the...
And meanwhile, Umahi is the principal officer of the Senate of the ruling party. And so it was good the way he responded. In fact, I told my governor, who was very happy. The governor called me and commended Umahi. And in fact, I will beg him to put extra kilometer of roads in Umahi's constituency.
So, the vandalization you spoke about, are you pinpointing opposition to that or...
I beg, don't go there now. Don't go there.
Because you said...
I will not answer the question. How can you descend opposition to that level? Please, don't do that.
Okay.
We are still Nigerians. That we are different parties should not make us to descend to gutter to talk about that. No opposition can do that. Yes, there's a beautiful lady there. Let me talk like my... Yes.
Good afternoon, my name is Joy Ondo. First cycle is online, sir. I just want to know how the ministry is balancing emergency interventions with long-time road sustainability, sir.
With
long-time road sustainability.
They go together. It's like a man that suddenly has heart attack. Does it stop those who have diabetes from being treated? So they all go together. They are all part of our program. If we heard that a bridge in Taraba got damaged, we went to the president. He immediately ordered, total rebuilding. The 2 bridges along Abuja-Kaduna, Lokoja, it being worked upon because it had aged, and there's a bridge between Ondo and Edo State, it's being worked on. There is very terrible road at Uturu Okigwe in Ebonyi State. It's being worked. So these are emergency things that must be tackled because a chain is as strong as the weakest link. If an emergency project happens and you don't give it attention, then it will now stop movement. And the people within that location, are deemed to be in prison. Because when movement is restricted, then that is definition of imprisonment. Yes.
Yes, my name is Emanuela from Pointer newspaper. You did mention about trucks that are being parked. So my question is, what is the federal government doing to tackle that issue?
Thank you. It's up to PAM Secretary, and the PAM Secretary has to do something about it. He has to craft, an advertisement where we will advertise after meeting with road transport workers. And, we also need to meet with NUPENG, those who have these big trucks. And the idea is to get them involved. We intend to call for private sectors to bid, for in each state and maybe major cities, so that if you park your vehicle, they have to tow it and then charge you a fee, and of course pay a certain amount of that fee to federal government, and then also pay themselves. So that is what we intend to do throughout the entire country. And the illegal, bumps on our roads, federal roads, we also attract such penalties. If you have illegal bumps in front of your shop or house, we have to penalize you, because it's your responsibility. And if you have drainage that is blocked in front of your house or in front of your shop, we have to penalize you. So we are putting all those things together. And when we put them together, we look at the legislation. Are there laws, that been, dealing with these infractions? If there are no laws, then the policy of government could come to be. But if there are laws, we have to descend to the laws to implement a more decent, society. Yes. Yes.
My name is NMPC. I work with the NTA. So mine will be on the issues of those who are arrested, because you have really tried facing of the roads and also vandalism. I want to know, sir, because if these people that were caught or were arrested, they are not properly prosecuted, for it to be deterrent for others. Because the other time we were in Lagos, we made mention of this, and they have continued as well. See, if these people are not properly prosecuted, the act will still continue. So my will is that, what are you really following up to make sure it doesn't become a matter of people are arrested, at the end of the day they are released, then the crime continues to that in that way. Thank you.
Well, the jobs are shared. Such crimes are criminal in nature, and it's the duty of the police. We've reported to the police. The police is handling the matter. And don't tell me that the IGP is not doing a lot for this country. And the CP of Lagos is a replica of the IGP in terms of, forthrightness, in terms of commitment, and in terms of being very dutiful. So I have no doubt that he's going.
And that was live coverage from the Ministry of Works in Mabushi, Abuja, where the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, briefed the media on key infrastructural issues and ongoing federal projects. Umahi blamed a blocked underground channel for flooding along the coastal highway, lamenting widespread vandalism of public infrastructure and calling for stronger protection of critical national assets. He also said President Bola Tinubu inherited 2,064 road projects nationwide, while addressing concerns over contractors and project execution, and also stressing his respect for the National Assembly.